Okay, so when we're setting up a project in Adobe Premiere Pro, anytime that you're creating a new project, you want to make sure that you are setting the settings according to whatever your output's going to be. So in this particular situation, we want to create a new project. So once Premiere loads, we're going to click New Project, and we're going to name it your name all lowercase, interview package all caps, depending on what you want to name the project, what you're working on. That could change. You want to select your location. So typically you're going to make a folder for yourself depending on what you're working on. In this case, we're going to create a B-roll footage folder. So there should be a B-roll footage folder on your desktop that you will select and then choose select folder. So now we've got your name, interview package, we've got the location that you're going to set this to, and then you want to check and make sure that your scratch disks are set to save in the same folder. This is going to ensure that everything's in the same place, so when you're done, you're going to be able just to delete that folder and it'll get rid of any kind of extra files that are there. So then we can click OK. In this particular case, I've created one already, so I'm just going to add that name. So once the project loads, you'll see the Premiere interface. The Premiere interface is a source monitor on the left, program monitor on the right, project panel bottom left, timeline sequence, timeline panel bottom right. If you don't see it this way, you'll go to click Window, choose Workspaces, make sure you're on Editing, and then Window Workspaces, Reset, and that will put everything back the way that it was in case something got moved around. So we want to create a new sequence. A sequence is where you can edit your clips, and it's going to be based on your output module. So for this particular situation, you can go to File, New, Sequence. You can right click and choose New Sequence, or we can click on the New Item button here at the bottom and choose Sequence. So we're going to create a timeline or a project that's in HDV, 720p, 30 frames per second. These are all settings based on cameras, so whatever camera you might have recorded it with, this is based on that footage. But remember, we're focusing on what the output would be, not what our source footage is. So we want to choose this 720p. And then we're going to name the sequence interview package. This is going to help us keep the project organized over here. So we'll click OK, and then you'll see a icon load here for your interview package. We're going to import the clip that we're using. So you can do that in a couple of ways. Remember, we can go to File, Import. We can right click in the project panel and choose Import. We can also hit Control I. And then probably the easiest way to do it is to double click in the project panel, and that will import the clip. Now you should have a folder on your desktop that has all the footage that we've been working with for this particular assignment. We're going to import the interview footage. So click on Interview and then click Open, and that will load your footage into the project. And then we're going to cut that clip. So we're going to double click on the interview, and that will open it here in the source monitor. When we play through it, you'll hear the interview subject say her name and spell it. You'll hear the reporter ask the question, and then you'll hear the answer, and then the reporter ask another question. So what we would want to do is we would want to cut this clip in the spot that where she starts answering the question. There may or may not be audio playing with us right now. So when she starts asking the question, or when she starts answering the question, that's the spot that we're going to start our clip. So we're going to go just after that question, not her spelling her name, but just after the reporter asks the question, and that's where we're going to start the clip. And you can set an in point and an out point in Premiere. So we set an in point by either choosing one of these brackets that's mark in, or keyboard shortcut I, as in N. Then you would go to where she finishes talking, and we would set an out point. And you can do that by using the bracket here or by using keyboard shortcut O. So now we've got this highlighted area. This is our clip. This is how much we're going to use. And you can see my clip's now about 25 seconds. We're going to do a little bit more trimming on that, but this will give you a general idea of how much time you have. And then we take that clip and we click and drag it into our timeline. And we want to put it right up against the edge here. Now it's going to pop up and tell you that it doesn't match the sequence settings. We know, we set that based on our output, not based on the camera settings. So we need to choose keep existing settings. And then we're going to right click on the clip, because see how she's a little bit bigger? That's because we shot this in 1080p, but now we're putting it into 720p. So the footage is bigger than the actual timeline. So we're going to right click on the clip and we're going to choose scale to frame size. You may have to scroll down if you don't see it right away. Scale to frame size, and then that makes it fit here in this window. You can make the clip, the timeline representation, a little bit bigger by using the plus key next to backspace. That will zoom out on your timeline a little bit so you can see that in a more visual way. The hyphen, or what looks like a minus key, will zoom back out. And the backslash key, which is just below backspace, will make your timeline, all the elements in your timeline, fill this screen so you can see a visual representation of all of your clips. As we add more clips, this will make more sense. You always want to make sure to save your work. And that's how far we got for today.